Huge mistake number three. Huge mistake number three. Not asking the photographer for testimonials from the brides they have worked with in the recent past. This seems so obvious, and yet brides miss this one all the time, and they pay a big price for it. Be sure the photographer has lots of happy brides and grooms who have taken time to write and tell the photographer how happy they were with both him and his work. We're talking testimonials here, the real thing, from real people with their full names and their city and state, so you can call them, contact them if you want to, just to check them out and make sure that they really said what the photographer says they said. Now, I'm sorry to be so skeptical, but we live in a time when you have to be really careful to be certain that people are telling you the truth. Now, you'll notice that we are always showing you photographs and testimonials from many of the brides and grooms whom we have been honored to work with and for on their wedding day. Also notice that their full names, city, and state are listed. So, if you really wanted to, you could look them up and contact them and verify what we said is the truth. So, huge secret number four, not hiring a photographer who is an emotional storyteller. One of the things that you really want to look for in your photographer is someone who is an emotional storyteller, an artistic photographer whose images combine to tell the emotional story of your family, your friends, and your wedding day. This is really important if you're looking for photographs which will be priceless to you for years and years to come. And here's why this is so important. If an artist is an emotional storyteller, there's a really good chance that he or she will be compassionate about not ruining the romance, beauty, and emotions of your wedding day. You see, only a true romantic can truly understand how important this day is to you and how perfectly you want it to go. And a true romantic will be sensitive to not interfering with the emotional romantic flow of your day. I could tell you so many horror stories here, bad stories, but let me just mention one so you understand just how important this is. Back when I was just starting out in photography, in wedding photography, I heard about a photographer who was hiding behind some flowers up at the altar, and that's something I will never do, by the way. But this photographer dropped a lens on the marble floor, made a huge crash. And then he swore out loud, so loud that everyone heard it. He obviously wasn't an emotional storyteller, or he wouldn't have ruined the romance and religious significance of the ceremony by hiding behind flowers, where everyone could see him come and go. And of course, there is no excuse for profanity. So, looking for a romantic, emotional storyteller who will beautifully tell the story of your love for each other and for your family and friends, will also respect your wishes and conduct himself in only the most professional and friendly way, because he understands in the most intimate way the importance of the story of your wedding day. And by the way, my brides tell me that they really love the way I emotionally tell the story of their wedding day through images. I'm passionate about it. That's why I became a photographer, to tell the wonderful, true stories of romantic couples in love. Huge mistake number five, hiring a photographer who will photograph more than one wedding per day. It is not my intention to say anything bad about any other photographers in this area. I know most of them personally, count many of them as friends. However, it is really important that I alert you in this video to some of the problems that you otherwise would never know about. Well, here's a biggie. Most photographers will cram as many weddings into a day as they humanly can. Many times this means they must rush from your wedding to get to another, and then rush from that one to get to another. And this type of photography just isn't going to be able to capture the emotions, romance, and love, the relationships between you and your husband, and also between you and your family and friends. That photographer just won't have the sensitivity and enthusiasm and love for what he does to be able to capture those feelings. And he or she won't have the time or energy. They'll just be exhausted. Now, you won't believe this, but I assure you it's true. For example, I won't mention any names here, but once I knew a photographer who photographed so many weddings in a single day that the only way he could remember the names of the bride and groom at each wedding was to write their first names on masking tape and stick it to the back of his camera. Just put that sucker right on the back. Not only that, but if he had, say, 5 weddings, he would simply stack layers of masking tape on the back of the camera, and as he left one wedding for the next, he would just rip off that layer. And the next couple's names were now showing. I swear to you, this is what this person did. By the way, I only photograph 1 wedding per day. Not only that, but we strictly limit our weddings to no more than 20 per year. Each wedding is a major commitment for us, and we don't want to spread ourselves too thin, and we've made a serious promise here. I understand how important this day is to you, and I want to be there for you in my fullest capacity. This also means that I'm still energetic and enthusiastic about what I'll be doing for you. And as I mentioned earlier, I photograph weddings because I love them, not because I have to do them. Since I only photograph 1 wedding a day, I'm not tired or burned out on this really important day for you. Stay tuned for our next video where I will tell you more about the huge mistakes 6 and 7 brides make when planning their wedding. These are biggies, so be sure to watch.